8656. Right now, you can save even more with rebates up to $20,000 on select sizes. Make the smart call to Anthem Steel today. 800-557-8656. That's 800-557-8656. 800-557-8656.
Welcome back here to the PM Show Weekend Edition with Nancy and Larry Manetti, also known as the Manettis, the latest reality show. And our guest star today is the great Charles Floyd Johnson. He's produced everything on television, ladies and gentlemen. There's not one show theme that we can come up with that has not been produced by this man, Charles Floyd Johnson.
He's an icon.
He is an icon, and welcome back here to the show.
Charles.
Thank you, guys.
We have a birthday. We have to get this
That's
out.
Jag,
right
by
now.
the way, the theme from Jag.
Jag, that's right.
I realize that.
It's
I love
Michael Horn's birthday today, so
please.
happy birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Thank you so much,
And
all
how
of you.
old are you today, Michael?
I'm the big 6-0 today.
Congratulations,
Thank
you
you.
made
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
I'm a
You're
zero
a puppy.
birthday.
Don't worry about it. I got ties older than that.
You're a puppy. You're a puppy.
Thank
So-
you very much, Larry.
Tell me a little bit about
Michael, what does
Jag.
that make you? What are you?
You mean a
Yeah,
Sagittarian
you're-
Scorpio. I'm right on the cusp.
You're right on the cusp, Scorpio.
I'm an intense negotiator, so if you need help on any of the shows, let me know.
He was in business affairs. That's big time
I
negotiating.
know. So I wanted to ask you about that. What was your title? What you were on there? You were in business affairs. Or production manager? What do you have to do on that role? What does that job entail?
This was an interesting role that I had, and Nancy and I were talking about how well I learned. We actually really were on the ground floor of working with the production companies to hire directors, hire writers for the shows, sometimes directors for the series, and for sometimes contract players at that time who were contract directors. And we also, worked with the company in terms of clearing scripts, watching dailies, making notes and all. I mean, it was, and then going to post-production.
So the production coordinator is really totally involved in all that. I can see where you can do other shows then, because you're learning about writers, you're learning about producers, directors,
you're getting the whole thing, yeah. And we worked with agents, in terms of who's available and who, what kind of deals we could make. It was an amazing experience and an amazing learning experience, and I got to work with a number of production companies. I remember doing a show with Richard Widmark did. I can't remember that show. What was that show, Larry, he did where he was it was
Wasn't he a sheriff?
Yeah, what was it? Tomas, see if you can look it up. Richard Widmark. He was a good.
I can't think of it now, but I got to work with him. Dean Hargrove did that. I got to work on $6 Million Man with Lee Majors, and Harv Bennett produced that, and it's just on and on. It was a great learning experience. So when the time came for me to get a chance to move up to producer, I had my time and grade, and so I got to be first the associate producer on the Rockford Files, and then the producer. And then, as Nancy said, in 1978, we won the Emmy for Best Dramatic Series.
And thanks to your parents, I think that the legal background obviously helped you in the negotiations.
Enormously.
Yeah.
One of the things I did, I don't know if I ever mentioned it to Larry and Nancy, was I worked on a series at Universal as a production coordinator, business affairs coordinator called Night Gallery.
Oh, wow. Great
Fabulous.
show.
Yeah, and we used to have to make deals for short stories where he'd go out and find the short story writers, make deals, and then they would turn them into, screenplays.
Wow.
So, but I think my legal experience helped me get, into that kind of work.
There was one episode of Night Gallery that featured an old disc jockey. You always wonder where all the old DJs go when they're through with radio. And this guy went to some bummer radio station where every time you played it was just heavy-duty organ music. And he'd put on like a Benny Goodman, and it was just organ music, the same song.
I kind of remember that.
Remember that one? And he electrocuted himself backed into the wall, and then his picture was on there. All the greats that were at the station, and his picture was on the wall.
Wow.
Great
I
episode.
vaguely remember that one.
Wow.
Did all the business affair people, were they all lawyers?
No, they came from different areas, and we had young people out of film school who worked in those areas and whatever. But I think I had an advantage because I had the legal background. But Len Hill, I don't know if you remember him, Larry. he was working in production coordinators at the same time I was. Peter Safier had just left. I don't remember him. But there were just a ton of them that we all got work, and most of them went on to produce or write in television after we left that department.
So you
Now,
got to.
Charles, let me ask you
Yes, ma'am.
something. For all the people that are out of work today, all these kids that want to get into the business, does it still work the same way, or is it a lot tougher now?
You know, I think it's a lot tougher than it used to be because the job market is so tight.
Right.
It's tight in everything that is out there wherever you go, and I think it's just harder for kids. And a lot of young men and women are now going to film schools, and they're coming out and they're trying to find work, and there just aren't that many positions.
Well, that's just it. I mean, all these film schools, and they go to graduate film schools.
But you got to be willing to do what Charles Floyd Johnson did, and that is seriously take a job any way you can, get into the mailroom, whatever. So same with you, Larry.
Work with Larry Manetti.
That's funny.
It took Charles years to go ahead and overcome that when he worked with Larry. But
So, Charles,
Yes, Larry.
I want to mention this before, God forbid, I slip. But let's do it when you come back. We're
Okay.
going to pause now.
We go to break? Okay.
Yeah.
take a quick
we'll
little
be right
break here,
back.
come back. We're talking with the great Charles Floyd Johnson. We have the lovely Nancy Manetti. We've got the incredible Larry Manetti. The show is called The Manettis. And the what's that?
The Czechoslovakian birthday boy.
Thank you so much. It's just Czech now. We let the Slovaks have their own country. Just want to let you know. We'll be straight ahead on CRN. Food's still good, though. I go across the border all the time.